Hey everyone, I'm Ad. So in this video, I am on a red worm hunting mission. I am needing the Flawless Pack-a-Punch 3 crystal, and the only way to get the Pack-a-Punch 3 crystal schematic is to kill the red worm. So I have killed about 8-9 red worms now, and I have yet to get the crystal. It's really frustrating. I'm not sure what the deal is, if it's like all RNG or if it's like you have to reach a certain damage threshold to get it. I'm not sure. So I have not gotten it yet, but Housley did get the Flawless Crystal schematic on his like 3rd red worm or something. So yeah, it is not the same for each person in your group. It is like RNG. So yeah, I'm gonna show you some of my games from my red worm killing spree. So the gear that I like to bring in is an LMG and the Scorcher. I like to bring in the LMG just because when it's like Pack-a-Punch 3, you have like 200 rounds of ammo before you have to reload. However, I have used the SOA Subverter with the Jack Flamethrower before and it worked just fine. I usually also bring in the Scorcher if I'm getting the USBs, so I can just fly around the map and collect all the USBs quickly, and I still have time to do contracts. It's really hard for a new player because I don't have the Flawless Crystal, so I have to do so many contracts to make like $50,000, and I also have to get the USBs, and it's a lot of work. So the Scorcher really comes in handy to get the USBs and to get the contracts quickly and efficiently. Okay, so here is my first red worm ever. I believe at this time I had only 6 days of gameplay. So I was a brand new player and someone in the chat was like, hey, we're doing red worm, does anyone want to join? So we were like, sure, let's go, it can't be that hard. Well, we died. But I realized why we died. It was because we ran out of time. Now that I'm more experienced, I have some tips and tricks for you guys that are new players as well. My first one is about armor. So if you do have golden armor, of course use it because it's so much better because you don't have to remember to put in armor plates. But if you do not have armor, which is fine, just never be at 0, because if you are at 0, you are one shot and you can insta-die. You really should buy a purple gas mask from the tier 3 zone. It's $5,000. Keep refilling your ammo and gas mask early at the ammo refill stations. There's been a couple of times where I was not paying attention and my gas mask broke. I didn't die though, but it was still kind of scary. If you can, bring several sentries in. The sentries don't really do much against the worm, but they do help clear out the zombies from slapping you while you're trying to shoot the worm. Be sure to bring in the healing field upgrade so that if a teammate goes down, you can just spray them and it'll pick them up. Always keep moving, try not to stand still, and if like the worm is looking in your direction, try to just run to the side of it so you're not directly in line of sight. Monkey bombs and Casimir grenades are always useful in helping clear out zombies. There was one game where I threw a Casimir at the red worm just to see what would happen, and it actually did quite a bit of damage. So when you are shooting at the worm, just try to shoot between his scales and armor at the bright red spots. And if you do happen to get eaten by the worm, just spam spacebar or A for me on controller so that you can parachute, because if you don't, you will just drop to the ground and die. Like, you won't die completely, but you will still go down and have to be revived. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. So in this red worm battle, I was trying out the VR11. Of course, it was Pack-a-Punch 3. It was kind of difficult to shoot the red spots with the VR11, so I kind of switched over to the Bruin instead because it was more accurate. There's usually a mega or 2 that spawns in while you're doing the red worm. Just try to avoid it and run away. You don't really have to focus on it too much. So usually I keep a VR case in my bag and then I equip it before the worm. So I usually drop my Scorcher on the floor and someone usually picks up the Scorcher. And if I'm going to the ether afterwards, I always ask them if I could please have it back. And so far I haven't had any problems getting it back from whoever picked it up. So yeah, in this battle, I only got the legendary tool and a Scorcher case. So here is my next worm battle. So in this one, I try out the VR11. It is just not my favorite. I don't know, I just feel like it's so hard to aim for the red spots. And it's so slow, like the worm moves. And then like the part where you aimed at is just like gone. So if you see, like the sentries really help. I think we had like 20 sentries here. And they really helped clear out the zombies so we could all just focus on killing the worm quickly. And so again, I got the Scorcher plans. So exciting. So this is the next worm. I just decided to use the SOA Subverter in this one. I've kind of given up on the VR11 at this point. I think there were about 12 people total killing this worm. And again, like they were all just randoms from the lobby that was like, okay, I'll join. Oh, I got a Wonder Waff and like a contract, and so I was just messing around and using it against the worm. I didn't really think it would do much damage, but just to troll and be funny. So again, it's always important to armor up and never be without armor, because that's how you go down. So in this one, we had 2 Mega Abominations spawn on us during the worm. And my reward for this one was just a Scorcher case. So in this one, I decided to go with an LMG, like the Bruin. Because Pack-a-Punch 3, it had 400 rounds. I'm like, surely with 400 rounds, like I can do enough damage to get the flawless crystal, right? Like you never run out of ammo. And you just spray into it. Should be fine, right? No, of course not. So my 5th worm, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in with the LMG and I'm just going to focus on the worm. Focus on hitting those red spots and avoid going down. But he's very wormy and he moves around a lot, so hitting those red spots is a little difficult. Again, you want to dodge his lasers so you don't go down or lose all your armor. And another Scorcher. Okay, so for the 6th worm battle, I bring in the Bruin with the mag upholding, so I never have to reload. If you look at my ammo, it's like 1,000 rounds before I run out. So surely now I can get enough damage and hits on the worm to get the flawless crystal. I get the legendary tool and the VR11. Like I said, the zombie community is amazing. And a few of the players in here didn't need any schematics anymore. So they just dropped them on the floor. And I was lucky enough to pick up the flawless schematic from someone else dropping it. So I kind of killed enough worms to get it. Housley and I were just playing some zombies. And I was like, hey, let's just go do this red worm real fast and help these people out before we leave, because like why not? They were like almost done with the worm like fairly quickly, so I just like shot at it for a little bit. Like I literally just shot the worm for maybe 10 seconds. Like that's the amount of damage I did to the worm. Probably not.
Cool.
No way! I literally did no HP and I got it? Oh my god, this game makes no sense. So I guess it's settled. There is no giant conspiracy theory. It's just all RNG, whether or not you get the crystal or not. I can't believe this. All of the worms, and that's when I get it?
I don't think it depends on like the damage.
Well, I was having a whole conspiracy theory that it was damage based. That's why I haven't been getting it.
I think it's just complete RNG rewards.
That's crazy.